Samsung's gearing up for its next big flagship launch, and if the past few years are anything to go by, the Galaxy S26 series should make its debut in January. But this time, things might not look exactly the same. Now, every year we expect the usual: faster chips, camera tweaks, and design polish. But for the S26, Samsung might be cooking up something more than just those incremental changes. Leaks suggest they could actually change the lineup itself, which hasn't happened in years. So here's the buzz. The Galaxy S Plus, a model that's been part of the family for ages, could be on its way out. In its place, we might be getting something called the Galaxy S26 Edge. That name hasn't been used since the Galaxy S6 days, so bringing it back would be a pretty bold move. But that's not all. The standard Galaxy S26 may not even be called standard anymore. It might get a rebrand to Galaxy S26 Pro, and the only name staying the same is the Galaxy S26 Ultra, which kind of makes sense because it's already the hero of the lineup. So yeah, on paper, Samsung's flagships could look totally different in 2026, even if the devices themselves don't drastically change. But the name shakeup shows that Samsung is thinking about branding as much as hardware. Now let's talk performance, because this is where it gets juicy. The S25 series was all Snapdragon across the board, powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite. But with the S26, Samsung is apparently bringing back the split strategy. Early leaks say the Galaxy S26 Ultra will run the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, while the Pro and the Edge could rely on Samsung's in-house Exynos 2600 chip. This Exynos 2600 is a big deal. It's built on a 2nm process, which is a step forward in efficiency and performance. Samsung reportedly hit mass production sooner than expected, and while the yields aren't perfect, they're good enough for a global release. But here's the catch: like always, not everyone will get the Exynos. If you're in the US or South Korea, you can expect Snapdragon only. For everyone else, it's a mix of Exynos and Snapdragon, which always stirs up debate in the community. Okay, charging. Let's be honest. Samsung's been behind here. The Galaxy S25 Ultra maxed out at 45 watts, which is laughable compared to what companies like Xiaomi and OnePlus are doing with 100-watt and even 120-watt chargers. But the S26 Ultra might finally bump up to 60 watts. Still not groundbreaking, but at least it's moving in the right direction. Wireless charging is also getting an upgrade, with rumors pointing to Qi 2 support. The Edge model might even include built-in magnets for that MagSafe-style snap-on charging, which would put it directly up against Apple's iPhone Air and Google's Pixel 10. Now, about the Ultra, everyone's been wondering if Samsung would have to ditch the S Pen to make room for Qi 2 magnets. Thankfully, leaks are saying the S Pen is safe. Not only that, but it's getting a slight redesign. It's said to look a little rounder this time, which fits with the softer, more curved corners Samsung introduced on the S25 Ultra. So, if you're a fan of the S Pen, don't worry, it's sticking around. Cameras are another hot topic. The Galaxy S26 Pro could get a refreshed sensor for sharper images, while the Edge might step up its game with a 50-megapixel ultra-wide lens to complement its 200-megapixel main shooter. The Ultra is rumored to switch to a brand new 200-megapixel Sony sensor, slightly larger than the one in the S25 Ultra. It might sound like a small difference, but in smartphone camera land, that extra size can mean noticeably better low-light shots and overall image quality. Plus, some leakers are claiming the variable aperture could return on the Ultra, which would give photographers a lot more flexibility. Design-wise, Samsung's not flipping the table, but there are still some subtle changes. The Pro model might get a slimmer camera module with a redesigned lens assembly. The Edge could feature a wide camera island that stretches across the back, kind of like the latest iPhones and Pixels. And the Ultra? It's rumored to slim down by about 0.4 millimeters compared to the S25 Ultra. Not exactly groundbreaking, but thinner is thinner. And then there's the display. The S26 Ultra might debut Samsung's new M14 OLED panel. This panel is supposed to be brighter, longer lasting, and more power efficient than before. That doesn't just mean prettier visuals, it could actually translate into better battery life. And honestly, that might be the most practical upgrade for a lot of people. So when you put it all together, Samsung isn't reinventing the wheel with the S26 series, but they are making enough tweaks to keep things fresh. New names, a possible Edge comeback, faster charging, bigger sensors, and a new display tech. It's not a revolution, but it's definitely shaping up to be more than just a S25 with new clothes. The real question is, are these upgrades enough to make you upgrade? Or do you think Samsung's playing it too safe while rivals like Apple and Google push harder in certain areas? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'm really curious to see what you think about this whole lineup shakeup. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next one.